successes, but in this movie, Soul Kitchen, you actually seem happy. There's not a lot of tragedy going on here. It's actually a warm comedy about a Greek guy who owns a restaurant and the troubles he has with his girlfriend, with his brother who's in prison, played by Moritz Bleibtreu, probably the best known actor in this movie, and with the new cook, who is actually the star of Head On, a wonderfully intense actor whose name is... Yes. So what made you decide to do this? Have you gotten happy? Is this a new phase of your life?
No, it was the opposite. It was during the shooting of The Edge of Heaven, a very close friend of mine, who was also my producer and my mentor and my teacher, Andreas Thiel, he died in the last week of The Edge of Heaven, and by a brain stroke. And I was kind of like very sad. I was in a deep grief for like half a year, and I had gave up Soul Kitchen for a long time ago, because actually the first draft of Soul Kitchen was written right after the editing of Head On,
which was 2004.
2004. It was even before, because Head On came out 2004, but the editing happened in 2003. You see, and after the shooting of Head On, I was kind of like broke, really broke, because part of my fee I put into the budget of Head On to do it the way I wanted to have the film. So I had the naive idea to write something very fast, which is settled in my neighborhood with friends of mine.
In Hamburg.
In Hamburg, Germany, and I will shoot it like with a very low budget and like very fast. That was the concept and the idea of Soul Kitchen. But then when Head On won all the awards and
the Gold Bear at Berlin, all of a sudden you were an internationally famous director.
Yeah, and I didn't trust the script of Soul Kitchen anymore, you see, and
I must do something serious now.
That's what I thought, and I had to confirm the success and blah blah blah. I was young when I had all these thoughts. And
how old are you now?
I'm 37 actually.
You look very young still. 37 is still very young.
I was thinking different. Soul Kitchen was a life lesson for me, in a way, a very important one, because Andreas, my friend who died, he was always like, don't care what other people say, let's do the film and let's do it so good as possible, the Soul Kitchen. And I was like, no, I'm not going to trust it, we cannot do a comedy, and look at all the new market we have, and France, and you know, and the US, and I was like, I wanted to produce the film and find another director for it. And meanwhile, I did The Edge of Heaven, and I did this Crossing the Bridge thing. And
Crossing the Bridge was about musicians.
Yeah, it was the music documentary I did in 2005. And when Andreas died, and I saw him like every night in my dreams, somehow he convinced me in my dreams to do Soul Kitchen, you know. And he always wanted me to do the film, and like I said, I was in a deep grief, personal grief, and Soul Kitchen was somehow a way out of that. That was one of the reasons, maybe the most important reason.
Well,
to do the film.
Yeah, I read in the production notes that this turned out to be the most expensive movie you've made.
The most expensive movie I made, the most difficult movie I made. I thought it's like, yeah, easy and yeah, based in my neighborhood, but it was so...
Comedy is hard, drama is easy, is that what you found out?
I won't say the drama is easy, you know, but it's, you know, you're a comedy, I mean, to make people laugh and to keep the turns and skills of genre, this is difficult, you know. You have, it's kind of, when you do this art stuff, the serious stuff, you're like free, you see what I mean? You can do whatever you want, there are no rules in that. But a comedy, if you do it like for an audience and for yourself, you need to know certain skills, what I didn't know before.
Timing is, we always hear, is very important. The beats that you have to get a joke right so people know when to laugh.
Exactly, and you never know when they laugh. I'm not like, I mean, Billy Wilder was so good in that, you know. There's this legend about Billy Wilder when he did Some Like It Hot. There's a scene with Jack Lemmon and Tony Curtis, and Jack Lemmon is telling Tony Curtis a story, and each time when he breaks for laughing, he's doing this music instruments, you know. I don't know the names of the instruments, but
Like the little marimba things, yeah.
And they say he did the marimbas so long for the laughing of the audience. You cannot give the next punchline before the laughing is over. I don't dominate my film like that. I don't have the knowledge Billy Wilder had, but to control your material, you know, I had to shot and collect takes and try different timings out, and okay, now we do the punchline a bit earlier, now we do it a bit later. I don't know what is right or wrong. I decided it in the editing, you know, and even there I didn't know if it works or not. So I have to call audience in the editing room, observe if they laugh or not, you know, and it was very difficult, tricky thing to do.
Now, the other tricky thing, I think, is the music. It's an incredibly eclectic score, and it has a ton of American soul music. Curtis Mayfield and so many others. In fact, in the production notes, you ask each cast member to say what their favorite soul song is. What is your favorite soul song?
Well, they change, like, you know, every week I have a new soul track. I like Prince. I'm a big Prince fan.
That was your first vinyl record, I read, that you had bought.
Exactly.
And you also have a salute with the DJ to vinyl.
Yeah, I did that for quite a long time, you know.
You played DJ?
Yeah.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
And how else is this autobiographical? The back problem, where we see the Turkish, Turkish like witch doctor who comes in and straps him on the floor and gets rid of his herniated disc. That's true?
That's true. Yes, that's a true story.
So one thing, I looked at this movie and I thought Fatih Akin embraces anarchy. I mean, it is really a movie where the people who live their life, spur of the moment, and try to do what they want are the ones that are celebrated, even if it means going into some other mall and stealing music equipment so that they have a place that they can dance to or practice to. Is that a theme in your movies? Is that part of your life?
It was. Let's say it was. It was. I mean, Soul Kitchen it is a very personal film. All of my work is very personal, but it was like, I had a feeling I have to do this film before I get too old for it.
Because clubbing is no longer part of your life every night.
I hope I'm done with it, yeah. It was a kind of like an exhausting lifestyle. I was in this clubbing and gastronomic world before I came to the film world. You know, I was always working as a waiter or a bartender or a doorkeeper, and you see that in Head On too, you know, the job Birol is doing in Head On in this concert place, collecting all this empty bottles and stuff. I did that.
Now, one last thing here. How intimidating is it to all of a sudden become world famous and have everybody love the movie you've done? What did Head On do to your psyche, outside of say to you, I can't make Soul Kitchen next, I have to do something serious? I mean, we hear for success sometimes people feel like, I don't deserve this, I'm a fraud, it's not really me that they love, it was just lucky. I mean, you make it look so easy. All these 4 films that we've just discussed.
It's, I mean, especially after Head On and the success of Head On, I felt pressure, you know, and I mean, pressure can be positive, you know, and it can be negative. It's like Soul Kitchen was a way out, you know, not to be the slave of my success.